It's Drop'em 78, day 56, and here's the King of Swords from Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot, the final of the pips and courts before we move on to the triumphs tomorrow. And here it's represented by King David, who was the most common name on the French suited King of Spades. And he's from the Old Testament, and one of his emblems is the sword because there's the legend of David and Goliath, in which David takes Goliath's sword and beheads him with it, and then keeps that sword as a trophy. The Old Balinese meaning for this, the King of Swords, is evil tongue, and Houston does not elaborate on what that means, so I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody who speaks ill of others or something like that. And to Atea, it was a person of the judiciary or the law, a judge, attorney, or even a senator or other white collar professionals like physician or an agent. But mostly it's someone having to do with the law, like a legal consultant, for example. Reversed, it could represent being ill intentioned or a crime, cruelty, or atrocity. My detail is this harp, which I found really interesting, and apparently David's other emblem is a harp because he was believed to have played the harp in order to soothe the so-called fits of madness of the king before him, King Saul. And what I found really interesting is that I think Hewson intentionally reflected the shape of that harp from the shape of the sleeve and dagger underneath the traditional King of Swords from the TDM. It really does look really similar, which I thought was pretty cool. The way this relates to my day is pretty random. So I have that, the random images that come up on your computer screen. I have that set to change to whatever my computer decides. And today I got this image and a photograph of this gorgeous heron. I'd never seen one like it. And I love herons. Probably the green heron is one of my favorite birds, one of my top favorites. They're very cool. But I didn't know what this heron was, so I clicked the little info tab, and it was a Goliath heron, which I'd never heard of. And apparently they can get to be 5 feet tall, and they are from South Africa, and they're gorgeous. I recommend looking up a picture. Yoav Ben-Dov saw the King of Swords to represent wisdom and intellectual maturity, or the need to break away from the past, or to cut off from some kind of an attachment. Okay, folks, we've made it through all the suits. Hooray! And on to the last leg, the triumphs tomorrow. I will talk to you then.